Hello again, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Game Pass Grabback, your weekly podcast reviewing games in the Game Pass collection, bringing you three new perspectives from varying skill range. I am the one who can't lie if I dislike a game. Andrew, with me, the one who thinks by changing his score at the end is a big con. Keith.
Hello.
And the one, I cannot lie, most beautiful woman, our co-host Liz.
Hey guys.
I mean, it's a little out of context since all you do is roast Liz usually, but you know. And for what it's worth, I did not change my score. I changed my game to a pass, which was always the intent. I stand behind my con.
Whatever. That's not a con, Keith. That was just a lie. And this week was a listener request, so thank you so much, Seth, who recommended that we play Lies of P by Round 8 Studios. Lies of P is a third-person action Souls-like game where you are playing a alternate version of Pinocchio. You are a puppet that has woken up on a train who has been woken up by essentially a blue fairy who revived you, and you find out that all these puppets have gone berserk and have destroyed the residents of the town of Kratz. So you are trying to fight your way through the town and find your master, Geppetto, and you are trying to unravel the mystery behind the puppet frenzy that is going on. But going around, I will start. For me, this was a very unfortunate... This game was probably the most unfortunate game to pick this week because, you know, this game was very difficult for Liz, and I was not available to help her this week.
You were in Alabama.
Yeah, and it was very unfortunate for me as well because I wanted to play so much of this game, and I just didn't have as much time to play it. I played most of this time on xCloud, which the game is okay on xCloud, but it's a Souls-like game, and you need to be really quicker with your reflexes. But boy, I loved Lies of P. This is an absolute game for me. I think this was a ton of fun.
Boy. This is a game I want to like. I want it to be a game. And here's...
And instead, you love it.
Nope.
Wow.
And this is not a lie or any of the such. It's a pass for me, but not. It's one of my usual. It's not because of the game itself. It is because of me and the Souls-like genre. Quick spoiler, I actually was kind of into the story because sort of like mythology, like retellings of stories just always get my interest, and so I was kind of invested in this whole concept, and I wanted to find out so much more and play more because but it's a pass for me because I just cannot play Souls-like games.
I'm with Keith. There were a lot of things in the game that I liked, but I ended up having to give it a pass. The main reason is because it was too hard for me. And I just felt like the bosses and just like the big guys that you meet, there was no difficulty setting that I could switch, so it was not noob friendly. And I've said this like a million times on the podcast, I don't like trying to do the same thing over and over again. It doesn't give me satisfaction when I finally beat it. And so, yeah, I played like 40 minutes of trying to beat one guy, and then I was like, I'm just waiting for Andrew. And at that point, too, I mean, there's still shortcuts, so it's easier to get to the enemy when you die, but it was just still annoying. And then also, I was really intrigued by the story, but there are, the sad side stories. I was afraid to go further. I don't like being sad, and there's... The two that I can think of that were like really, really sad, I was just like, I don't know. So yeah, and unfortunately it's a pass, but I think the game has a lot of cool elements.
It's funny. I first was going to give this a game because it's like, oh, this is a more accessible Souls-like game. Because I actually found it to be kind of easier and more like user-friendly at first.
I think I know where you're coming from, because there's... And maybe we're jumping too quick into gameplay, but I think I get where you're coming from in that it's very simplistic button-wise. It's still a Souls-like, and the lack of a difficulty setting just really seals the deal on it.
And just a quick disclaimer. I picked up something in Alabama. I might have COVID, or I don't know, a sinus infection or something, but I'm going to try not to cough in everyone's ear, and I'm sucking on cough drops, so... I just figured at least give that disclaimer.
Which, actually, second disclaimer, as of today's recording, they released a patch which is supposed to help with some of these difficulty issues that we were talking about, at least minimally, in terms of reducing some boss HP and.
What does that have to do with my cough, Keith?
It's an additional disclaimer.
We'll come up with your own disclaimer at another separate time.
This is my own disclaimer. I don't know. This is exactly what a separate disclaimer would be. But so if you're listening to this, or when you're listening to this, you will absolutely be playing a slightly different version of this game. But I think it's still going to be mostly the same, I would bet.
Yeah, it looks like they nerfed a bunch of bosses that were kind of a struggle.
Yeah, so if you're kind of like myself or Liz, it might not matter much because I don't know that we fought many bosses. At least I didn't, speaking personally.
Andrew defeated a lot of them for me.
Nice. Nice.
That's literally kind of how Liz played. Like, it was funny when Liz first started playing this. I was in Alabama, and she's texting me. She's like, I can't beat the first boss. And I'm like, oh, what, the Parade Master?
No, I said the
And she's
first
like-
big guy. I did not say boss because I knew it was not a boss. I just knew it was a big guy.
I don't know. Let me look.
And
should
I
look at the text
also,
here.
okay, if you can prove me wrong, that's fine. But I really did try, and I felt like I kind of understood the combat more as I played more. But there was still there were times that, Andrew, you were impressed with one of the bosses that I got to half health.
Yeah.
And so, but for me, like I said, I don't want to keep doing it. It's not fun for me. And so, the first guy that I tried a million times, I knew I wasn't going to get it. Wait, okay, show me.
You didn't say boss. You're right.
Oh, okay.
Cranberry mango.
That felt so good to say.
Oh my gosh.
I like that you were quiet. You didn't come out and say it. I had to ask you.
Just sitting there. No, just carry on, Liz. Keep talking.
I was hoping you wouldn't notice you put my phone down.
But yeah, like Liz's gameplay is usually just her taking out the trash, and then when she gets to a boss fight, I kill the boss for her, and then she continues. No, but watching you play, Liz, you're actually really good at killing just the trash mobs. Because there's some fights where I'm like, man, I had to use 2 health potions in that fight, and Liz is just taking everyone out. It's just the way you play of you hit somebody and roll away, and you're just very slow and methodical.
But the dodge was kind of difficult for me because there's so many games where if you're mid swinging, you can still dodge. But in this game, you have to complete the swing and then dodge, and so it kind of threw me off. Where it's the last time I did a dodge game, it wasn't like that, and I had to keep reminding myself. But I also couldn't believe that I did a good parry every once in a while.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was luck, but it was fun to see.
Yeah. But I mean, we'll get into
Did we
that.
talk about story yet?
No, that's why I'm trying to steer this other direction here. But the story of Lies of P, as I said, this is kind of an alternate telling of the fable. Is it a fable?
Yeah, story.
This is an alternate
Fairy
telling
tale?
of the story of Pinocchio.
Fairy tale?
A fairy tale. That's a better
So
description.
much
of
of a
it.
difference
Thank
between
you.
a fairy tale and a fable.
I think a fable.
A fable tells teaches a lesson, right?
A lesson.
Yes,
yeah.
which Pinocchio does.
Yeah, so maybe
it's
it's-
about the.
Is Pinocchio?
I don't know. Keith will look this up. But anyway, this is alternate telling of the story of Pinocchio, where you are playing, as I said, Pinocchio, and you are revived on a train, and you find out that all the puppets, which are essentially automatons, are just these robotic beings that were originally servants to all the humans in the town, have gone berserk, killed everyone. But not only that, because this game isn't bleak enough, there's also a disease going around the town called the petrification disease, which essentially just makes humans, and they develop scales and eventually turn into stone. And then, of course, some people get turned into monsters. So you are kind of going around and trying to clean up the streets and trying to figure out if you want to lie or not lie on some story elements.
Which, I mean, we found out because I did the opposite of what Andrew did for one of them, and I got a record, which I thought was kind of nice.
Which, yeah, I am trying not to lie. And Liz is like, well, I'm going to lie. And she's like, well, is lying bad? And I'm like, well, when is lying ever good?
Because you saved this woman heartache right before she dies. How is that not good?
But do you not know all about Pinocchio? Anytime he lies, his nose grows.
I know, but I also Googled what would happen because I felt like the right decision was to tell her, but I wasn't sure if, I don't want to give too much away, but yeah, that's why I looked it up. I was nervous.
I think I lied to her. I think I lied to her. I only had 2 or 3 opportunities that I ran into.
So I'm the only one with a good moral compass here.
I don't know.
How is that a good moral compass?
Well,
Because you're lying about her baby.
the very first
She's-
one, it's like, hey, do you want to come into this building? Tell the truth or don't come in. And I'm sure it still lets you in because you have to get there. It's part of the game or
Oh,
something.
no. I kept saying I was a puppet, and they just say, you can't come in, but you just keep redoing it.
Oh.
So you have to lie to get into the
So
hotel.
you have to lie sometimes. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I don't need a moral compass. Or your judgment.
Well, it's like, I'm sorry, but like if someone says like, "Oh, do you like my dress?" I'm not gonna say no, even if I don't like it.
About
You know?
the dress. And how much do you like that person? Just saying.
No, but
These are
if
good
they
questions.
obviously like it and it's just not my style, like I don't like it because it's not my style, I wouldn't say, "Oh, no, I don't like it."
Well, that's why the proper response is always no, it makes you look horrible. Even if you like it. You just always tell them it looks horrible. Then people stop asking you that question and they never put you in that situation.
That's true. I mean, who would say that? You know, but
Yeah, no. you
just an
look terrible.
example. Like I would lie. I would.
Makes your nose look
If it-
big. Oh, don't get me started on your butt. Ugh. Don't.
Keith. Oh, I also just want to say real quick, because I know this is off topic, but I thought it was really funny that Andrew called Keith after Keith like said, "Please don't call me. I don't like people calling me. If you're my immediate family member, that's fine." But then Andrew called him.
Oh yeah, I got in trouble
And he
for that
picked
too
up.
because I listed my wife last after all of my siblings and parents, so I got in trouble for that later. Ooh, just like I noticed.
Your wife actually listened to the podcast?
No, she was in the other room. She goes, I didn't know what you were talking about, but I noticed that you put me last on that list. I went, oh, dang it. So you're welcome, everybody. Yeah. But yes, Andrew called me, and my immediate was, ugh, what?
Is he pranking me because of what I said?
He picked up after one ring.
Yeah, you're lucky.
But anyway, the story. What did you guys think of the story? Because this is already one of the first things I loved about Liza P. Because usually what comes with Soul-like games is that the story is always way too convoluted. Like Elden Ring, Bloodborne, Dark Souls. Like, they have a story, but like you have to dig through mountains of lore to figure out what is going on. But this is one thing I loved about Liza P. Right away, I was like, I get what's going on. I'm into this world. This is awesome. So for me, this was an awesome story, and I wanted to know so much more about it.
I was going to say that too, that they let you know what's going on. You don't have to dig for it, and I love that. But something that I said towards the beginning when I was playing, and I told you, Andrew, I was like, I wonder what people feel like when they're creating these like crazy, like human looking robots nowadays and stuff. And Andrew's like, well, it's not like they're going to end up like murdering and like turning on people. And I'm like, that's what everybody thinks in every movie. You know,
who's
like
going to create a movie where they're like, we have robots and they're perfectly fine? Like, obviously, it's Hollywood. The robots are going to uprise. Like, of course.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, nobody ever thinks it's going to happen until it happens. I've seen so many movies, I would just be like, that's a bad idea. I'm not doing it. So that's all I'm saying is, like, maybe it's not a good idea.
Yeah.
So you're telling me you wouldn't want to have a robot butler?
No. That is creepy. No. Because what if, like, somebody hacks it?
It's true.
And you just turn around, like you wake up in the night, you're thirsty, and you're walking through your house, and all of a sudden you just see the butler staring at you. Heck no.
I mean,
Why are you walking around? I have a butler. It should be delivering me the water.
that is true. I should
Yeah.
just push a button and that butler should be bringing me water.
I like we're both swaying Keith.
I'm just picturing the butler with a knife behind its back. Like, I don't know. I can't. You guys would do it?
I mean, I just don't think I have a lot of people that are out there for my head that are going to be trying to hack my
Yeah.
butler robot to murder me. I could be wrong.
No, but they could hack like an entire country's worth of robots kind of thing. Like, they're going after everybody.
I mean, I suppose it could be. I don't know. I probably couldn't afford one anyways. That's probably the more important. Story-wise, I mean, I already alluded to it a little bit here, but I was pretty into it, and I didn't get a whole lot of it, but I know Pinocchio, and so I know.
You personally know him?
Yeah, we're buds. We go way back. But, knowing the story that it was at least driven off of, I I'm sure it doesn't go exactly the same way, but I was into it and I wanted to know more about this world. While I don't necessarily know a lot about Elden Ring and Bloodborne and all those because I've never played them because I avoid them like the plague, I can see where those games, like you also kind of said, is that they have to build their world. They start from scratch and they may pull from, a little bit of Lovecraftian designs and things of that nature. But all in all, they're really creating something from the ground up, where creators of Lies of P here have a game or a story that was built off of something. And so it already felt familiar. And I like that about a game. It kind of has that mythology feel to me, especially when it's, I don't know, turning something that I know into, I would say something dark, because it's not like I just have this tendency to like dark things, but you know what I mean? It's just,
Yeah.
it's that turn
Like,
of familiarity. It's almost ironic, even though that might not be the best word.
Like, I love when someone gets, like an iconic story and puts their own, kind of twist to it. It's, the same when, a band does, a cover of a song. But, yeah, I don't just want to hear the same song. I want to hear your take on it. I want to hear it, in a unique way. Because, case in point, using Pinocchio, 2 Pinocchio movies came out very similar at near the same time. Disney came out with a live-action Pinocchio. And that movie was essentially the same retelling of it, just live action. And that movie was forgotten like a fart in the wind. But then Guillermo del Toro made a stop motion type animation movie for Netflix. And that Pinocchio movie was fantastic. It was so good. And that movie is actually more iconic and remembered. And it's always and I never understand that when they're just oh, it's the same movie, but it's live action. Nobody's ever going to choose the live action over the animated version. So it's why waste your time?
What is the ending of Pinocchio? Because I obviously saw it when I was a kid, the cartoon one, but I don't remember.
He becomes a giant robot and crushes Tokyo.
What's the ending of Pinocchio?
I love that Liz just looked at you. I know I don't believe you. God, I hate you.
I was hoping she would maybe go wait a second, that's Godzilla. He
turns into a real
see.
boy.
I don't
at least in the
well.
Disney one.
I don't. Yeah, in the Disney one, he gets turned the blue fairy grants him his wish that he ends up getting a soul and becomes a real boy.
Yeah,
but in the actual telling of Pinocchio, I'm not sure.
Yeah, well, because in my searching for is it a fairy tale or a fable, technically I think it's neither. It at least according to the Wikipedia, the Adventures of
the Wikipedia,
the Adventures of Pinocchio is a children's fantasy novel. So it was written as a telling of stories that were released in a serial fashion. And then it was compiled into a novel. So I guess technically it's neither of the things we were talking about. And I don't know what the ending is. I guess I could look it up since I have the Wikipedia, but
so
I don't want to spoil it.
He could have turned into a giant monster and crushed Tokyo, as far as we know.
Think that, well, at least not, I don't, when did Tokyo become a city? Was it a city in 1881? I don't know. We didn't have robots back then. That's all I know. Catch fools. That's his father. He turns a parrot, mocks him. What happens? Everyone was very. He goes to town with 40 pennies. He has saved himself to buy a new suit.
Anyway, well, let's just move on.
Oh, when he wakes up, he's a real boy with his puppet body lying lifeless on a chair. That is wicked creepy. Imagine you live your whole life as something, and then you wake up one day and you're not, and your dead ex body is just laying next to you. How is that a good ending? Gosh.
I'm just kidding. I'm going to delete that.
Gross.
I mean, no, don't get me started on that question. Anyways, just edit the question. Leave it in, but blur it.
The Round 8 Studios does a fantastic job with the story, but not only that, I actually loved the gameplay. If you're familiar with a Souls-like game, you kind of know how it goes. It's a third-person action game. You kind of have your different styles. Do you want to be kind of a slow, heavy swinging greatsword? Do you want to have kind of a balanced sword, or do you want to do a rapier where you're quick and dodgy and can block and parry? So you can kind of have your different play styles with it. You have your RPG elements. You're gaining these experience points, which in this game it's called Ergo. You go to save points. You spend those points to level up. But every time you go to one of those points, it revives all the enemies. Classic Souls-like elements. But as far as like how different Lies of P is compared to other Souls-like games, there's not too much that is different. I guess the big difference is you don't have a shield. Well, you kind of have a shield. You have a mechanical left arm, which you can equip different things. You first start with a grappling hook, which I know Liz loved. You can get a lightning attachment to it. You can get a flamethrower attachment, and you eventually can get a shield attachment. But the game is more trying to teach you to not just block, but to parry. So you need to block at the right time when an enemy hits you to parry, because then you receive no damage, opens up the enemies to do a staggering hit, and so on and so forth. So if you know a Souls-like game, you know Lies of P. But what did you guys think of the gameplay?
I was curious, did it bother you that you had to travel to switch out your arm and to upgrade and stuff? Because you had to either, at the beginning, you did what are they called? The
Stargazers?
Spirit. Stargazers, yeah. And then you ended up having to go to that woman at the hotel.
I thought
Did that bother you that you couldn't just do it?
no, you can still
You
change
can
the
change
legion.
your arm at this.
You
Yeah,
couldn't upgrade. You could upgrade with the Stargazers at the beginning, but once you go to the Hotel Krat, you can only talk to Sophia, I believe is her name, or Ophelia.
Sophie.
No, you told me that I had to go back to the hotel to switch out my arm.
Well, then he lied
No.
to you.
Yeah, because then we just did that, Andrew. We just did it
To
yesterday.
upgrade your arm, you have to go back. But again, I know that's not what you're saying. I'm just
Yeah, because I switched it with the lightning one, and I decided I didn't want it, and I was like, oh, I want to switch it back, and he said, oh, you have to go back to the
You need
hotel.
to try the lightning one. No, you definitely switched it at the Stargazer, because I told you. I was like, Liz. go to
Okay,
your arm
at
and
the
do that.
Stargazer, whatever. Like, you can't do it when you want to. Like, if you're not near a Stargazer, is what I'm saying. Like, so...
In which I do kind of agree with you. Because the arms are a nice change to the gameplay. And it kind of stinks that you have to commit to, kind of one thing
Is
that
it because
you're
they
doing.
don't want you to pause the game?
no,
Like,
because it doesn't pause. Like there's unless
No, but that's what I mean. Like, they don't want you to pause the game. So if you switched out your arm, you'd kind of have to change or pause or do slow motion or something.
No.
If you're mid combat.
I think so. And this is more, I'm just spitballing this as I'm thinking about it, honestly, because I had the same thought that it's kind of like a weapon. And so you can switch your weapons out as you play the game, but you can't switch your arm. But I think the idea is built on the fact that, like, when you're changing your weapons around and you're doing stuff like that, you have to do that at the Stargazers too. So you have, like, it's taking actual assembly. And that's why it is in your arm. You're a robot. You have to disassemble this arm and put the other one on. So I think it kind of fits in the canon sense with the way that they're designing
Yeah.
the game. I don't like it, and I'm not saying I want it to be that way, but I do think it fits, if that makes sense.
What about upgrading like your abilities though? I mean, because it's everything. So it's the same with like if you have enough points and you can do like the
Yeah, I'm fine.
vigor or whatever.
I mean, I'm not saying I wouldn't prefer to be able to do it out in the wild, if you will, but I think it still fits with that too, with having to upgrade your points. I don't like that you have to go back to the hotel every time. Not that it's overly inconvenient and it's literally one extra step from going to the Stargazer, but it's the idea that I have to do a travel to upgrade versus other things. But outside of that, I don't know. I guess I didn't have a problem with the whole needing to be there to switch a Legion arm. And as you start to get the Stargazers, and like you mentioned, Liz, it's sort of got a Metroidvania aspect to it that you're opening up these little shortcuts and all these things that I never felt like I was so far from a Stargazer that I was like, ugh, I have to travel. My bigger issue with travel was the amount of times I died and traveled back to the same place over and over and over and kept doing that same fight. That was the travel I hated. And it also fits the game, but I hated it because it was just a reminder of me being garbage at the game.
I agree. Did you get lost? Because there were times where I went back to the hotel and I was like, I don't know which direction it was because all the ladder. Like, I feel like, not to get into graphics, but I felt like a lot of the alleys and stuff looked samey. And there's some areas that I was like, oh, I know where I'm going. And other times I was just like, I don't know.
I wanted a map, but there was enough. What's there? There's enough like landmarks that I kind of always knew where I was, even if some of the alleys were like, okay, this looks the same as maybe another one I've been down. I felt like I at least had enough bearing to where I was. There were times I would get lost when I would enter an area and I didn't know what I was looking for. But I think that's also kind of the gameplay. Like a lot of Souls-likes, it's a little Souls-like games. It's kind of open world, right? Ish.
So Elden Ring was the first real open world Souls-like.
Okay.
The other ones are relatively linear, but you have like multiple paths you can go. So like you don't have to follow like, oh, you have to go the left path first. Like you could kind of pick and choose where you go, but like whatever path you picked was kind of relatively linear. But Liz, to first answer your first question, I actually liked that you would travel back to the Hotel Krat, which, by the way, I keep wanting to call the town Kraut,
The sauerkraut.
like as in sauerkraut. Yeah, it's Krat, but I kept wanting to call it Kraut. But Hotel Krat, because the nice thing about it, like what started to click with me, is by traveling constantly back to this hotel, it's making the world, it's reminding me that this world is like a lived-in world and that there's NPCs and characters in this world. Because, I've played a bunch of other Souls-like games, and a lot of times you're leveling up at just a fireplace, like, or whatever. You're not interacting with anyone. So you just kind of feel like this lone character in a world of enemies. But at least by constantly traveling back to the hotel, you're seeing the people and talking to them and interacting with them. So I kind of liked it. And it, like as Keith said, like the load screens are so quick that it really wasn't much of an inconvenience. It's not like, oh, I killed 2 enemies, I can level up again. Because you're not leveling up that fast. So it was kind of like, oh, by the time I beat a boss, I could probably level up 2 times now. So I didn't mind traveling back to the town.
Okay, I think you changed my mind. Especially with what you're saying, Mike. By the time that you get back there, you'll probably want to do stuff anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you said, like actually seeing the NPCs and stuff. Do you know what? You did change my mind.
Aw, sweet. But then as far as like getting lost, no. Because this is another thing why I thought this game was more accessible. This game is way more linear. Like there's still plenty of little nooks and crannies you can explore and find.
Which I love.
Yeah. But like I said, with like other Souls-like, it was kind of like annoying of like, you're going down a path and it's like, oh, you're in the Undead Burg. And then you take another path and it's like, oh, now you're in like the Haunted Crypt. And it's like, well, which way should I go? Is this too high for me? And then before you know it, you're like way too deep and you're getting smoked and now you're not going to get your body back. And it's like, well, this sucks. But at least with Lies of P, it seemed so much more clear as to where I needed to go. And, getting into the art style of it later, like I thought everything was just well illustrated as to like, hey, this is a shortcut over here. Maybe you should hit that button. Hey, there's a stargaze over here. Make sure you get that so it's a checkpoint. So no, I never got lost.
And I mean, I felt like for the most part there wasn't like you could kind of explore, but it was like holding your hand through it, like you had mentioned.
Yeah.
And so that like I just knew that if like I couldn't get past an area, I was like, oh, okay, this just isn't the way to go. I'll find another path around and I'll come back here eventually. And at least through, so I don't, is it broken down into acts or is it just like they have the Roman numerals? Because I was in the 3 section, the Vanini workshop.
I took it as acts. I think it's more set as time. Because when you start the game, it says, rainy morning, and then it's like, oh, foggy noon.
Oh,
so I think the acts are kind of like the time of the day. I don't know how that really helps you, because you're like, I remember the area it was rainy. So Act 1 is the rainy morning. I don't know. This is like me just guessing. Maybe. But yeah, I always kind of saw it as kind of broken up into acts, also kind of as like the time zones.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess, I'm trying to, like, as far as like, travel between them, I don't know. I had somewhere I was going with that and then I lost my thought. Now I completely forgot.
Oh, lose your thought like you lose yourself in the game.
Oh boy, I lost it.
So how did you find the combat?
I'm just terrible at timing dodges and parries. I was pretty good with the dodges. I struggle so much with Souls-like in general because of the fact that I don't play video games with patience. It's the same reason.
Are you more a dodge person or a parry or like a guard person?
100% more of a dodge person. I'm always going to try and go with mobility over blocking. It's just how I fight.
Me too.
At just about all hand-to-hand type of games. But I
And in life.
yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm always avoiding hand-to-hand. I said this on a previous episode. I had something I don't like, I'll just run away. So yeah, I just struggled with needing to actually block and parry. I was getting better at points towards the end of it, at the very least with the smaller enemies. But I run in and I'm like, okay, I don't count their punches. I don't count their swings. And I know that's so pivotal in this genre. But I'm just like, all right, 2 I think was enough, and he's slowed down enough. And then I go to swing, and then I'm mid motion, and I can't block, and I don't do well with needing to be patient. That's why I like a Diablo where I can just run around and just hold a button and just things just happen around me. I like bullet hells. I like high fast action. It's just where I live better in video games.
I am 100% with that. I am not patient with video games. Because that's the thing. Like, I knew that there was probably like they do this swing, then 2 of these. But I just, was like, this looks like an opening. But yeah, I don't have the patience. If it's a game that I think I like more, I would have more patience. And like I said, there's a lot that I like with this game, but not enough that I wanted to like suffer through it. Suffer through the boss fights, not suffer through the game. It's not that bad. But yeah, so for me, I definitely could have been a bit more patient with it, but
well, and one kind of other side thought on that, and where it's so there that like this game is somewhat of a weird status for me, is that I didn't even feel like I was suffering through them as much. Like there are games where I'm just like, I hate this. I don't like. I know I'm a hot button on this one. I just like Hi-Fi Rush. I wasn't even having fun when I was doing those fights. So to me, it just all seemed pointless. This, I was like, I wanted to experience this world and I wanted to fight these fights. It just stunk because I was like, I just cannot get past it. It's not the game's fault. It is me, because I know that if I took more time to actually try to be good at them, I wouldn't be great. But I could get through a game, I think, like Lies of P.
I mean, I'm 100% a guard and block person, so, we may have different styles on our combat, but one thing I think we all can agree on is how much less stress and anxiety we've been having ever since we've been taking these wonderful 2-ounce shots called Magic Mind. Since taking Magic Mind, I know all of us can attest to the fact that we've had way more energy, way better focus, less stress and anxiety, and we've been able to focus on our task way more, both at work, as I've said in the last week episode, how much has helped me as a healthcare provider, and how much it has helped Liz here, being a stay-at-home mom, raising our wonderful 4-year-old.
yeah, I've said this before on the podcast that I come from a family of coffee drinkers. Like it's insane how much coffee we drink. And I noticed that because I cut back down to 2 coffees a day. And then the second one,
It's usually like a coffee and a latte.
yeah, and the second one, if coffee can be really finicky, where it's like if you take it too early, you just feel tired, but if you take it too late, then it can keep you up. Like the second coffee of the day.
And then it makes you poop.
Yeah, I got a sensitive stomach. But with this, like, because I always love the taste of coffee in the morning. The second one, I really just want to get rid of that coffee. And this shows that it's so much better than coffee, because it's not, you don't get that jolt, and then you just kind of like, go, meh. Meh.
You don't go, "Meh."
You can't see my hands.
But it's very important to the sound.
But that's what I really loved about it. So if I take it in the morning, like I just go at it. Our daughter has never slept well. Like from the time that she's been born, she has never been a good sleeper. I'm always tired. And for me, it's like the focus to do the chores. It also makes it, I don't even know how to explain this. It makes me not dread certain chores. I just do it. And I'm multitasking. I'm like, throw the laundry in here, do this, do that. And so I absolutely love it. It really does help me. And I actually don't even miss the coffee. Like this, the second or the first cup, I don't feel like I'm missing out because I just feel so good. And I do think that with Magic Mind, I don't mean this in a bad way at all. It has an earthy flavor, and I used to work at that health and wellness like food place.
See, I don't think it does.
And I don't think it's a bad thing. Like, for instance, like I would consider like beets an earthy flavor. I love beets, but there's certain things I associate with like an earthy flavor, which I should say beets aren't in it, correct? I'm just giving an example.
Oh. I personally don't think it has too much of an earthy flavor. I mean, Keith, you actually had a great description of it the first time.
Yeah, there's like an apple and a pear taste to it, and I don't know where it comes from. I'm not complaining because that was my biggest concern when I was going to take it is I hate mushrooms. I don't particularly care for, I don't know, earthy flavors. I think like the bravest I get into earthy flavors is maybe some beets, like you said, Liz. I'm like, well, that's probably enough for me. Let me go get something else. So I was concerned that I was just not gonna like the taste, but right away, like I smelled it and I went, okay, there's a sweetness to this. And then I don't know where it comes from, but there's like an apple, pear, some sort of flavor, and it's actually really good. So I will stand behind that as well. That if you're someone like me who doesn't usually go to these types of drinks because you think, and even as a shot, you're just a little like, it doesn't sound appealing. It is absolutely worth trying if that's your only holdback because it's very good. And I don't know, I can't really just repeat all of what they said for a while. I was doing the stay-at-home parent thing. I'm going to the work thing. So I don't know. I guess we'll see how it goes going back to work. I'm excited for that. I mean, heck, I started my Magic Mind, got an interview, and hired the next week. So what does that tell you? I'm not saying that it will get you a job, but I'm not saying it didn't help me get a job.
You're not saying it.
I'm not saying it, I don't think. Take Magic Mind. It's awesome for your brain.
But yeah, Magic Mind has ingredients like Rhodalia rosea. I probably butchered that. It's an ingredient that helps reduce anxiety and improves mental clarity, which is something I can fully attest to. It's weird, actually, like how effective this drink is, because so many times of like when you have these kind of earthy drinks, it's just like, oh yeah, it's just, I feel like it's a lot of fluff that's put on the label, but I can 100% attest that it backs up what it says. You know, the matcha in it, which is a prolonged caffeine, keeps me awake and alert, but doesn't keep me crashed at the end, and I can get a good night's sleep. So,
but I mean, I don't know, one last kind of, I think, cool things about it, and one of the things that drew me in when I did as a personal effect, if you will, is Alzheimer's runs in my family. My mother has gone to see doctors for it, and like to preventative things and talking about it, trying to get ahead of it. And all of the ingredients that are in Magic Mind, or at least large amounts of them, because I compared some of the things that she had, are very same ingredients to what doctors are prescribing to prevent that. So if doctors are promoting a lot of these things, again, I'm not a doctor. I'm not saying, hey, this is this, but I can tell you that put me in a position to say, hey, these are legitimate things. They may be things that you've never heard of and you think, oh, that's a bunch of weird, like Liz said, earthy ingredients, but these are legitimate things that doctors are recommending for various things. So it's genuinely a good product, I believe.
Yeah. And if you are at all interested in Magic Mind, please go to magicmind.com/GPGPpod and use promo code GPGP20 to get 20% off a one-time purchase or 56% off a subscription. That's magicmind.com/GPGPpod with promo code GPGP20. So thank you so much for Magic Mind for showing us this wonderful product. So you guys said you had a hard time timing and countering the enemies. So I wanted to ask then, how did you guys do in the boss fights? Because we've played, like usually when you play like a Bullet Hell or a Souls-like game, everyone describes the boss fights as kind of a dance. And so I wanted to know, how did you guys do in the boss fights?
I'm not a good dancer.
I disagree, Liz. I think you're a wonderful dancer.
So what's that old?
Are you a good dancer, Keith?
Oh, I'm a fantastic dancer. That's not an issue. What's that old meme? The not well, my dude, not well. That was how I did on bosses. It wasn't great. It honestly, and I could get past just about any of the trash mobs. I didn't struggle with most of them, except for those ones with the wheel. Those ones just really got me, or whatever giant gear on their back.
I can see you going, wheel!
Yeah, well, because especially there was one area that I was particularly stuck at, and I kept having to fight the same one over and over again. Except I learned I could just run past him and go to where I was going to, which was just to my death as well, because I was going to a boss fight. Yeah, so I didn't love them, but it sucks because it still isn't like, I hated them because I hated the bosses. I just hated them because I couldn't beat them. And it feels not even unfair. It just seems like a dumb rating for a game to be like, it's a bad game because I suck at it.
See, I loved the boss fights. First of all, I thought the designs of the bosses were awesome. But this is just what I love about Souls-like games. Because, the boss fights are crazy hard. But, when you beat them, I always feel so accomplished. I know Liz disagrees. But, how far did everyone get?
I think I beat 2 bosses. I think I beat the first Stalker and the Parade Master.
No, if you got to Vanini's Workshop, you said you got farther. You beat the cop.
Okay, yeah. That one actually I didn't struggle with, I don't think. That one I think I got through pretty quickly. But I was struggling and I only really tried to fight it a couple times, but the giant robot, that was the one I struggled to get past in particular.
I say we.
I know.
We
I
beat
like making fun of me going, we.
I didn't know this
We
was a
beat the
co-op
police
game.
one, right?
It is when you're married.
Which that's another really depressing side story that I did not appreciate. But yeah, it was shortly after that, right?
Yeah, you got to Vanini's Workshop, which Vanini's Workshop has one of my favorite weapons. Good segue. Keith, what is your favorite weapons?
I was a fan of the fire axe, and actually not my original weapon, because I started as balance, so I had the rapier. But
I started as strength with the great sword.
But yeah, I was not having a great time with the stabby boy. So I ended up going to, I don't know, it's that first, it's not a katana, is it? Kind of is.
There's a saber.
Saber.
I think is what you
Yeah,
did.
I think that.
Yeah, the rapier is for quick, and balance was the saber, which Liz did.
Wait, did we all do different things?
No, you and Keith did the same. You
Oh.
and Keith
Yeah,
did balance. I did the
Yeah,
strength.
because I got the rapier, but I ended up picking up the saber and using that, and then I went with the fire axe. Now, I probably screwed it up by doing it, but what I thought was a cool aspect of the game was how you could mix and match the weapons with the blade versus the handle, it's just one of those things that it stinks because I wanted so bad to experience more of this game, but I was struggling so much with it. But that said is, I don't know if I did a good thing, but I didn't, I got, was one of the giant blades. I don't remember which one it was, but I threw it on the axe handle so I could just swing it one-handed. It was slow, but man, it packed a mean punch.
Yeah, this is another big change of an element compared to other Souls-like games, is just about every weapon. There's some weapons that you can't disassemble, but the weapons are broken down to blade and handle, and they each have a unique ability, which is called a fable. So you have a power-up bar that as you're hitting enemies, you're powering up your fable meter, and depending on, what blade and handle you're using, you'll get a special ability. So some blades are you do a quick 3 slash, or, maybe you'll do a perfect parry, even though you yourself didn't do it. It's just an automatic perfect parry. It's just a various different skills you can do. But you can mix and match weapons and handles. So the handles will actually give a grade rating. So as you're leveling up, you have your typical stats, but they're called different things, your vigor, your capacity, your technique, your advance, and a handle will give a grade rating of if you have a lot of points in advance, this handle will do really well with an advanced build if you're putting a lot of points in advance. So you can kind of mix and match weapon handles in weapons. So it's like, hey, did you really want to use a dagger? But the handle for the dagger isn't going well with your build. Well, switch the handle, and now it does. So that's what I loved about this game, because, you know, if you've played other games like Elden Ring, you'll be like, hey, this is a cool sword. Oh, it's for a Faith build. Well, I'm not doing Faith, so can't use this weapon. But not in Lies of P, you can actually just mix it. And it's awesome. So I did the same thing as you, Keith. Like, my favorite weapons was the electric mace, which is really good against the puppets. But I kind of hated its swing because it's a blunt weapon. And if you hit a wall, it stops the attack. So I switched it out with like the rapier handle. So it was more of a stabbing motion. And so I was able to just focus a target right in front of me. And so it was really great for that. And then my other weapon that I absolutely loved is the Salamander Dagger, which is a flame weapon, which was great against the stalkers.
I feel like I didn't get nearly as many weapons, but I was more focused on my hook. That's the thing that I love the most in combat.
You love that hook.
Because the little twirly blade guys, I absolutely despised.
Oh, yes. Those are my most hated enemies.
The hook works so good for them. And so for me, that's why I love the most. Andrew, what weapon did I use the most? It had like cylinder.
Yeah, that was the electric hammer that I was
I use that a lot.
Yeah, I told you to use that. It's really good against trash, and it's also pretty good against the bosses too.
Why do you call them trash?
That's just a phrase people always use to talk about just generic enemies. It's just trash mobs.
Okay.
Sorry. I forget that you're still a noob. Even though we've been doing this podcast for years.
I was like, dang, he's really passionate about these guys.
Liz is like somebody who's just lived in...
I get what you're saying, Keith, though.
I know, but those words don't go well.
Yeah.
Thank you, Liz. It's understanding.
I know you're not, you know what.
All right, but we need to move along. But for me, the gameplay is just a ton of fun in this game, and I wanted to keep doing more. But the thing that absolutely blew me away is the graphics. To me, this game just oozes style. Like, I don't know how else to describe it. To me, this is probably going to be my graphical game of the year. I loved the art style. Like, just graphically, everything looked fantastic. I loved the city. I loved the enemy designs. I love just everything. The boss designs are crazy. Yeah, I cannot speak any more highly of the graphics.
I really love the graphics. I did say earlier that there were some times where I felt like the surroundings were a little samey in certain areas. And I still think that, but I loved it. I didn't want it to change. Like with the, I mean, even like the streets were pretty. I just loved that. And then I kind of do wish that the costumes...
You complain about it, but you're like, I don't want it to change.
I mean, I wish that...
It's kind of like being like, hey, you're kind of fat, but I don't want you to change. It's like, no, if you mention it, you want it to change.
Wow, what a dark example. Holy crap. I was
sorry,
just saying maybe have like one building that looks different. Like, what? What are you talking about?
I like took you for a second. You're like, wait a second. I didn't say that to you.
I've never said that.
I know, I'm just joking. Sorry.
But one thing that I do wish is that the costumes actually had like an ability or like improved something. So I mean, I did switch the costumes just for fun, but they were fun to look at too. So I did like them. But yeah, I really enjoyed the graphics. In fact, you showed me the trailer, and that was one of the first things that I was like, maybe we should play this game. Not realizing what I was getting into, but.
See, I was really curious too how you would like this game, because I still think it's funny. Literally, the very first game we played for this podcast was Ashen, which is a Souls-like.
That's true, and I liked it.
Hated that game. Yeah, oh yeah, and you liked it. But that's also the big difference too. A lot of Souls-likes have some sort of co-op element to this, and Lies of P does not. You know, during some boss fights, you can summon an NPC, but yeah, there's no like. You can't jump into a friend's game and help your friend out.
But this is way more forgiving. I mean, if you think about, like, I don't know if Ashen did this or not, but the fact that when you die from a boss, like, they leave your stuff outside of the arena. Like, yeah. I think that's amazing.
Yeah, that's a nice...
I definitely thought it was more forgiving than Ashen. And I think that's why it's, like, it is more noob-friendly, but it's still, like... I wish there was a difficulty setting. My experience would have been different.
I really
Well,
wish
obviously.
we could go back and play Ashen. If we ever do end this podcast, and I hope we do it forever, but if we ever do and we can schedule our last episode, it has to be a return to Ashen. I just think there's no other way. But
Okay, I think we should each get to pick a game though, because if you're gonna make me suffer through Ashen, then I should be able to pick one for you, Keith.
it's not about you.
Graveyard Keeper.
It's actually less about you, Liz. It's more about. I mean, it is in a lot of ways, but it's a book.
I felt pretty targeted, Keith.
It's more about the book end of it, but I think because I don't know, like I said, I liked that and it was a Souls like, and I'm sitting here talking about how much I hate Souls like games, so I've changed.
So there's a little discussion here you brought up, Liz, that I kind of want to ask you guys. So, Liz, you're saying you wish there was a difficulty option.
Yeah, because I mean, even if there was like no achievements for an easier difficulty, like I really did enjoy the story and the graphics, and I felt like I would have played way more.
So, I'm curious how you feel, Keith, because for me, like I see both sides of the argument about like, hey, this game should have a difficulty option to make it more accessible to people, which, you know, as a developer, that makes sense. You know, obviously you want to reach the broadest audience possible. Like, you're kind of gatekeeping people from playing your game because it's too hard. But I also understand the other side of it of the game is fun and rewarding because of how difficult it is. Because, like, my argument of, like, why I don't think there should be a difficulty setting and, like, why I enjoy it just being hard as it is, like, we've played a handful of games that have, like, easy features. And every single one of us, whenever those easy features appear, we always turn them on. You know, we did it with Last Case of Benedict Fox, when you could just auto-solve the puzzles. We did that. When we did Ikenfell, and you just, like, auto-win battles, we all ended up turning that on. When we did the Big Con last week, when you could just auto-pickpocket, we all turned that on.
But some games actually have like bad features that you want to get rid of just because it was made poorly, though. So I feel like if it was actually fun, I wouldn't turn it off.
I think Liz just hit the nail on the head perfectly with it. I don't think I could really sum that up better than what you just said. And I didn't want accessibility features in it. And it's a weird thing to say because I don't know, typically those are there also partly for people who like might actually need accessibility. Like it's kind of do gatekeep the game a little bit, and I'm not trying to go down that whole road, but outside of that, like I didn't feel like there was like I needed to have an invincibility mode. I just wanted to maybe tone it back a little bit. So do I fault it or take points off, whatever it may be, because the difficulty setting isn't there? No, because at least from my perspective, I'm like, it's a Souls-like, and just shake my fist at them type of thing. But I wanted it. It would have gained points if it was there, I guess, because I would have played more of it. And I truly wanted to play more, and I wanted to enjoy it, but I could not because I just couldn't do it.
Yeah, I think it was just frustrating because it was so interesting of a game, and I really did want to play it. But I also don't feel like a developer should have to dumb something down, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not trying to sound mean saying that, especially because it's towards people like myself. But, I mean, for me, like, if that's the game that they want to make, that's fine. But, yeah, they definitely are. Like, I mean, there are a lot of people online that was, like, too hard. There are a lot of people who are just not going to play it because it is too hard.
Yeah.
Though, to get to a certain point in the game, and then it'll be like, I can't do it.
Well, I do think, and I think that's where it's important, though, that, and I think this is a great, and because it's actually probably going to drive me to still go back to this when I can fit in some time for it, is, I know I already mentioned it at the beginning of the episode, but they've already put tweaks in place into the game. And so, you know, they've recognized that, hey, we might have made this a little bit too hard. And yeah, a lot of people can beat this, but a lot of people can't. And so I kind of wish that's where I think I want them to say, okay, we recognize that, let's turn this into a difficulty setting, like a normal and a more relaxed setting. And then they have those. So then the people who want to say they beat it on that harder difficulty but haven't yet can do it, but because it is doable. But I think it's important that they recognize these things and they make those changes, because I think one of the biggest ones that I saw on there is the weight rating. And it took me a while to truly understand it. It's not overly complicated, but it's really just what you have equipped is the only thing that affects your weight. And basically this patch, it makes it so for each point you put into your ability to carry weight, it's more effective, is the way I understand it, so that you're not always overburdened. Because it basically, if I was carrying 2 weapons, I was overburdened, is what I was.
Oh, I didn't see that in the patch notes. I'm glad, because I'm always overburdened too.
Exactly. So like they're doing things to help this, and I think that's important, and that's where it's not about the game for me. It's about my own capabilities, and where this is a very weird pass. And I know I've said it 100 times, and I'll probably say it 100 more.
Right.
Andrew, I did want to say, like, I do partially agree with you when it comes to turning on the easy stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I still believe what I just said, but I also will say that I usually try to speed up the game because of the podcast, because I want to get further and see more story. But if I was just casually playing, I wouldn't do it as much. But I really do feel like every once in a while I do make it a bit too easy. Like, even like the difficulties, some games you just don't know until you play, and then I do kind of get lazy with it. I'm like, I'll just keep it on easy or medium or whatever.
That's a product of you underselling your skills, though, Liz. While you may not have learned all of the video game language, I think your skills are probably so much better today than you even realize and give yourself credit for. So I think a lot of that is you just going, I'm not good. I want to try easy. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not criticizing it. I just think you undersell yourself, if I'm honest.
Oh, definitely. Whenever we do a shooter game, like, she probably has like a 60% accuracy. Granted, they're all crotch shots, but she's at least hitting those crotches really well. So, I mean, like, her skill has gotten better.
Well, I think it's games
She
like
doesn't
this.
scream as much either at, like, things.
Did you know there was actually quite a few jump
Yeah,
scares in this?
there was a couple in this game.
And I know, like, if there's like a tight little room, I'm like, I'm gonna look in that corner. Like, there's a couple of times I yelled once in this game.
It's delightful to watch because you just start rolling everywhere. It's like a defense mechanism. I love it. But anyway, so then the other thing that Liza P does fantastic is the audio. The music has like this actual... They have like an actual soundtrack for the Liza P where you are actually earning these actual like vinyl discs, and you can play it on the gramophone within the hotel. And the vinyl discs are like a legitimate reward because the music soundtrack is so good. Like, I only got one, and like, because Liz did a different choice and she had a different song, but like, just hearing the 2 songs that I got to listen to on the gramophone, I was like, these songs are great. Like, it's just really nice, like, soothing jazz music. It's so good.
I only got one.
And also,
but it was good. Sorry, go ahead, Liz.
I feel like the voice acting
Yeah.
was really good. There was 1 or 2 that I was like, it's kind of like breathy, and I wasn't sure if it was just like what they're going for. But not one of the people in distress, by the way. But some of the voice acting I was really impressed with.
I loved your cricket companion. It's not Jiminy, it's Gemini. I'm assuming Jiminy was trademark because Jiminy Cricket I know has been in like some Mickey Mouse cartoons. But yeah, you have Gemini, who's the cricket who lives in your lamp.
And you're not.
But I loved his
either, are you?
banter.
You're just. Do they actually call you Pinocchio?
I don't.
Because I didn't
think-
I don't recall them ever actually saying Pinocchio. It's just Liza
Everyone
P.
I think just calls you
it's very
puppet or boy.
And it's very implied, obviously, because Geppetto and all the robots are puppets.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're not like, I think Geppetto is really the only one who actually has the true name.
Yeah, he calls you son though.
Yeah, but that's the whole thing, is he builds you because he wanted a son, and so he kind
Yeah.
of built you to be that. Kind of weird, actually. Yeah, I liked the music.
The game also just fills a very eerie and like despairing vibe of the town. Yeah, it does a great job with the atmosphere building. So great job with the audio.
Well, you know what drove me nuts is there is one area in particular. It's just, I mean, it's like Andrew mentioned, it's a lot of rainy day, foggy afternoon. Well, so it's kind of always just dreary from what I saw. And so it's raining, and you hear that in the background pretty much always. But there's this one area that there was just cats meowing. And we just got a new kitten. And so I hear cats in my house frequently. And so I kept like taking my headset. I'm like, is this cats attacking each other? And
that actually happened to me too. I was like, is there a cat here?
The amount of times I like turned down my volume, taking off my headset, and it to the point where even though I knew it was happening there, I'm still checking, and I was like, oh, it almost drove me mad.
I mean, that's good audio.
But it is, yeah.
You thought it's a real cat.
Well, yeah, it wasn't bad, and it wasn't even annoying. It was more just like, gosh, it sounds like there is a cat, like, I don't know, somewhere within range of me meowing, and I need to go investigate. But I think, yeah,
We need to investigate this cat. There's something wrong with it.
gosh, a kitten and an old cat. Don't get me started. It's a whole mess. Yeah, the audio is good though. It's very atmospheric, I think, and it sets the tone for this world that you're kind of walking through, and it's dead and not dead at the same time.
Wait, so why did you decide to get another cat? You guys just wanted to have more pets?
Yeah, basically.
You don't have to keep this in. Sorry. I'm just.
I mean, mostly Amber was never a cat person, and then we got Mila, and she loved Mila, and then she just started looking at
I was going to say, she's not much of a cat person, so we doubled down on 2 cats.
she wanted a cat, and
We really want to stick it to her.
I was like, I don't know, I like kittens. Kittens are cute, they're fun. I'm on board, so yeah, we went with it.
I love that.
He's an asshole, but he's awesome at the same time.
But yeah, as far as the achievements go, the achievements are good. Nothing too fun or anything like that. It's very much just, once you beat this boss, once you beat that boss.
We're actually really close. Andrew, you have 150 with 10 out of 42 achievements.
Dang.
Keith 120 with 8, and I'm 105 with 7. So is yours wrong? I was actually going to ask you that.
No, it's probably right. It's just, yeah, because, I mean,
I
don't
think you were
think I'm crazy far
horrified.
in the game.
You actually got a bunch of achievements for me.
I wanted to play so much more of this game. I just didn't have time. But for time to beat, you're looking between 25 hours to 35 hours. If you want to completion it, it looks like it's like 52 hours.
I'm at like
So
12 already.
Yeah.
Through the game.
But yeah, Liza P, that's the other thing too I like about it, is like it's kind of more of a bite-sized chunk, because a lot of Souls-like games you're usually looking at like 40 plus hours, but this is kind of on the smaller tail end of it. So yeah, another good thing that it does. But let's get into our final thoughts here. I'll kick this off. So as I said, for me, Liza P, yeah, this is a definite game. I originally, like I said, thought this was going to be a more accessible Souls-like for my co-host, but apparently it's not. So I guess I can't recommend this game to everybody. But if you like Souls-like games, absolutely check out Liza P. It's great. I saw some people being like, oh, this is a complete rip-off of Bloodborne. But I don't know why people are getting upset about the game about it, because Sony has already said basically like, yeah, we're not going to remaster Bloodborne, so what you got is what you got. So at least this studio is trying to create a successor to it. And some people are upset about it and some people like it, but all you got to know is if you like Souls-like, you got to check out Liza P. I thought the story was great. Graphics are fantastic. The combat's a ton of fun. It can be brutally difficult, but that's to be expected with Souls-like games. Usually when it comes to Souls-like games, I sometimes have to build myself up to start it, because I know what's waiting for me, and it's going to be a lot of dying and frustration. But I, for whatever reason, had no issue with Liza P. When it came, I wanted to boot up Liza P like that, like right away. If I had downtime, I was on it. I unfortunately played this game mostly on xCloud, and like I said, that's difficult because if you're trying to parry, you need to be very precise. And just, even though I had good internet connection, just there is always a little bit of latency with xCloud. But I was still able to do majority of the game just fine, so it was just more of a struggle. Anyway, for me, I'm giving Liza P a 90. Check it out.
Well, I mean, you were able to get through a majority of what you played. You clearly did not get through much of the game because you're just a little bit past me. But
I mean, I got past a boss that they're nerfing, so
I'm not.
That at least says something.
It does. I'm not saying entirely that it's impossible. I'm just saying. But yeah, I have beat this to death. That I like Liza P. I like the concept of it. I like the world of it. I like the design of it. I don't even have a problem with the mechanics. I think the mechanics are cool. I don't have a problem with the gameplay. I think it's a little simplistic. It's basically just right bumper attack, right trigger secondary attack, and then like a special. But there's combos and all of that too, which we didn't really get into. It's just, overall, I think the buttons are fairly simple. And so I think Andrew had the right idea that Liza P is an accessible Souls-like. and it probably is, but it's still hard, and it still got me, and I still just struggle to the point where I like just can't go further, and it kind of bums me out. I do plan to check out the nerfs to some of it, because again, there's just a lot of things that will make the quality of life along the game, I think, make more sense. So maybe you'll have a better experience, and I actually would recommend this while still saying I don't want to play it. So it's still a pass, I guess, because of that, and it's a weird pass. It's a new age. It's a game just not for me. So I'm still going to give it an 82, because I think it's a great game that I just can't play, and it kind of stinks.
Yeah, I'm going to give it an 86. This is hard for me to really give a score for the reasons that Keith just stated, because I don't want to knock points because it's too hard, but this is a game that I actually really would love to watch a walkthrough, because I enjoy doing stuff like that. But I also think, too, some of the things I didn't like about the game, I can't fault for as well. Like, so for instance, I said that, it was sad at parts. Well, it's making me feel something, so that's a positive to the game, right? So there's like different aspects that I just I don't really know what to score it. But I think like an 86 is what I'm going to go with. And looking at Metacritic for Series X, 84 and 7.9. And a lot of people were, I think like with a game like this, they're going to compare it to other Souls-like games. Yeah. And so I think that really affects people's scores. And then also there were people like me that were like, it's too hard. So.
Yeah. And after this, I can't wait for the sequel, Liza Pooh.
Nice.
Where you play as Winnie the Pooh.
It was just going to be, I was going to say Lies of Number 2.
If you thought I was going with an immature joke, that's on you, Keith.
I just backed you up and I said Lies of Number 2. So then you have the 2 for the sequel and you still get the poop joke.
I will say, when people say the name of this, I think it's Eliza.
Eliza P.
Yeah, there's something about this that I just don't hear it right.
No,
I'm actually surprised there's not a mod where you play as Winnie the Pooh.
That would be kind of awesome.
But anyway, that'll do it for us this week. If you have any game suggestions, please hit us up at GamePassGrabBag.com. You'll find all our links, including the link to our wonderful sponsor, where you'll also see our promo code. So make sure you check out Magic Mind. They're a wonderful company. I've been your hardcore gamer, Andrew. You can find me on Xbox Live at Firebird01952. Please reach out. We always love hearing from you, everyone. Love when people say hi. I always love, too, we haven't mentioned it forever, but we do have a Game Pass Grab Bag Xbox Club. And every once in a while, we get a member who wants to join it. And it's like, man, we have not talked about that since year one. So it's always kind of nice when someone jumps into it. It's like, man, this person listened to a really old episode, because we have not mentioned that club in forever. But yeah, if you ever stumble upon that, I mean, we don't really do anything with it. We probably should.
I'm not.
We always talk about doing a game night.
I'm not one to bash on Xbox stuff, because I'm an Xbox person. I generally like all of it. But man, they really just did not do any effort with the clubs. There's no worse feature than the fact that you have to. It's like Diablo, but worse. It's a dumb concept. Yeah. It bums me out, because the clubs could have been such a cool aspect, and I just don't think they gave it enough. But I agree with you. So still join if you want, but it isn't. So that's why join our Discord, where we're recording tonight.
Yep. Which, that was the thing. I feel like they're giving up on the clubs, because I feel like they're just integrating more with Discord. But yeah, make sure you join our Discord. We record every Wednesday. You can come join and listen to us record, and I guess see how the sausage is made.
Sorry.
There's a lot of inappropriate jokes and stuff we make that I usually edit out. If you want to come in and listen to us live, you can come on join. You can find it on GamePassGrabBag.com. And then the other last thing, thank you so much to everyone who answered my poll on our Starfield episode. The question I asked is, has a Metacritic score ever changed your opinion on a game? We had 25 votes. 3 people said yes, 16 people said no, and 6 people said it depends. I was actually surprised that many people said yes. I did not think or it depends. I for me never was affected by Metacritic score, because to me I always feel like people just bomb scores. But no, apparently there's a good amount of people out there that actually follow Metacritic scores and listen to it well. But yeah, thank you all so much for joining on the Spotify poll. But anyway, take it away, Keith.
Oh, Andrew's back on his CVS receipt thing. I've been Keith, as always. Seth.
Yeah, do you remember
Yes.
what game Seth recommended last time?
Celesta.
Yeah.
Seth. Everyone else can shut this off. Seth, this is between you and I. And it feels like it's becoming personal. And you just don't like me. and I don't know why you do this. You're still going to get the 9+. I don't even know what at this point, because good for you. You disappoint me in ways I'll never know. Give me a roguelike. But you're still cool. Keep listening. You're all awesome. Everyone turn it back up now. Hopefully you heard that. And Liz, take it away.
I'm Liz Noob, gamertag come on Dean, and I'm on Twitter and Instagram at Liz Noob. Noob is EW.
All right, everyone. We love you all. We'll see you again next week.
Bye guys.